main topic today. And our third main topic today is this. So, James Feige over at DC, right, has taken over James Gunn. I'm calling him James Feige, obviously, because he is now, the Feige of DC. And he has recently done like a little interview. Wasn't kind of, a big deal. This little one-off little thing he said. But I just want to talk about it. And I wanted to, why I have you here in the studio, Lucas, get your opinion on it for sure. And this is what he said. So I have this article here pulled up from Screen Rant. And I want to jump through past all of this stuff here. And I want to get right to the quote that James Gunn said. This is in reference to the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and filming with, in particular, the core of the galaxy, or of the Guardians. And this is what he had to say about it. This cast are like my family, he says. I cannot tell you how close I am to Chris Pratt and Palm and Dave and Zoe and Karen, but I also know I will work with all of those people individually again. He adds, laughing, probably at my other job. Whoa. What? Okay, so this is something to talk about. So that means that we could see Chris Pratt and Dave Bautista and even potentially Zoe Saldana or Karen Gillan in the DC universe playing DC characters. Not maybe, but it sounds like.
But I also know I will work again with all those people.
I know, individually. And, it's. Come on.
It'll probably be at my
How do you know it's individually?
Right. And probably at your other job.
Yeah. So what this sounds like to me is that in the future, at some point in this DC world that, again, James Feige, and applies now more than ever, is creating, could include the Guardians of the Galaxy cast members, in not all together, but in individual different roles. For all we know, Dave Bautista is the next Superman.
No, hold that. No. Batista has petitioned Warner Brothers for a long time to let him play Bane, actually. So I bet you could see him in that.
That would make sense. I could see him playing Bane. Right. He'd be a good Bane.
Right. And Karen Gillan, there's been a lot of fan casting for her and a lot of stuff I've seen over there, like maybe Batgirl. Yeah, and he pretty much said all of them, right? Like other than Bradley Cooper and Vin Diesel.
Right, exactly. And which are mainly voice actors in that world. But what I want to also talk about is not only the idea that he is pretty much confirming that he is going to bring those core Guardians people individually, actors, into his DC universe that he's creating. This leads me to wonder and question, who else? Who else does he bring over with him? Because as James Gunn has been in Marvel for years, he has made those relationships, not just with the Guardians of the Galaxy, but what about my boy Will Poulter? I bet he's made a good relationship with James Gunn, filming Guardians of the Galaxy 3. You also had Seth Green playing Howard the Duck. That was all his kind of thing too. There's
Yondu.
Yeah, well, there's no thing that there's nothing in the world that James Gunn makes that Michael Rooker doesn't eventually show up in. And technically he was in the Suicide Squad, right? But yeah. So again, very interesting, and it comes on the cusp of all of this stuff with give me 1 second. It comes on the cusp of all this stuff with Henry Cavill and Superman, and now all these kind of whispers of, oh, maybe he'll play Hyperion, maybe he'll play, Sentry for.
They're just trading him back and forth.
Yeah. And then there's this word of those same murmurs about Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Oh, well, maybe he'll be the Thing, or maybe he'll be this, or there's all these
Ben
rumblings
Affleck too,
now.
I've heard about,
Right, and so now it kind of seems like an old school WCW WWE swap of champions.
Switch them up.
Is what may be happening here.
Let's do it. Fuck.
Really cool, man. I think it's interesting that all these people love James Gunn enough to do this, to say, hey, I'm tired of doing this. I mean, Zoe Saldana was just, in the media, confidently being like, dude, I wish I would have never signed him to do this Marvel shit ever. And then to find out that, but James Gunn's going to be like, yeah, come over here. And she's going to be like, what are we doing? That's pretty crazy. But she's probably not going to have to be covered up in 12 hours of makeup during every one of those shoots.
Well, he knows how much,
she would be a great, if we're going to keep
Poison Ivy.
If we're going to keep the DCEU or DCU separate from the Batman universe, she's your Catwoman, man. She's a great Catwoman. I mean, she's got the body, she's got the physicality.
For sure.
She's great. Yeah, would love to see her play anything. Love Zoe Saldana, one of the best actresses on the planet. So, but yeah, anyway, Lucas, you're hearing this. What are your thoughts, man? What do you think? Do you think this confirms do you think this confirms that he's saying, hey, these people are going to be in my world and playing in my playground again, but in this new world that I'm creating over at DC? And then B, who else and what else does this mean moving forward?
No, you know what I mean? No, I absolutely think that's confirmation, as to what roles they're going to play. I mean, the only one that I can really think of that also kind of seemingly confirms something else is Batista playing Bane, like I said. Just because I know he's petitioned for it a bunch. But, again, the fact that he named all of them and then said, I will work with them again individually, probably at my other job. That's a yes. But I also want to say that the first half of that about how he said they're like family to him. I mean, that they are. You remember when he got fired from Disney and they all stood with him?
Yeah,
and
hey,
everything?
we'll quit playing our shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Right?
We're not doing it
over
without him.
A joke. Yeah,
they
that.
literally. That isn't talked about enough. Actually, I'm glad you bring that up.
Well, and that's
because
why
they stood their ground, and that's part of the reason. Again, it's not talked about enough, but that's part of the reason he got hired back is because they said, "Okay, well, then do it all without us, all of us, because we will not do this movie without James Gunn directing it."
Right.
That's pretty. Again, I'm glad you bring that. It's a great point because that just shows you how loyal these guys are to James Gunn. So again, if he calls you, if James Gunn calls one of these individuals and is like, hey, I got a part.
Well, he's probably already been talking to him.
Come on, as he's filming, you would be really good at.
Batista, I know you've always wanted to play Bane.
Do the Bane voice. Right, yeah, for sure. I totally can see it. And I can't wait to start hearing more and seeing what some of these things are going to be. Guys, you're hearing this information. What are you guys' thoughts on all this? Do you think that this definitely does mean he's bringing these core actors from the Guardians over to his DC universe? Do you not? Definitely let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below.